Yeah, we're on the air, and I don't want to talk about it.
I should go back actually and watch the videos and see when in the cycle of the countdown the video recording is starting. I don't always know, but hey, welcome to the Common Good Podcast. No matter when you started watching, maybe a second ago, maybe a few seconds ago. Super glad to have you. All right, Rob. My wife said, "Hey, on your podcast, say something constructive and helpful for people." And I said, because she's out of her mind as well about all this stuff, And I said, we're like a cognitive, emotional sweat lodge. You get to come here and you get to hear it all and let the toxins be released. And we're providing a service. I mean, it's Catholic confession. It is your, weekly meeting with your therapist. It is going on a long run.
Monthly.
Monthly.
Yeah.
Maybe you should pick up the pace a little.
I'm not that messed up. I don't need to go weekly.
Can you pick up the pace?
There's only oh my goodness, in the 15 years that I've been going to my therapist, it's amazing. I'm not fixed yet.
It's clearly not working.
There's only been a few times where he's said, "Why don't you come back next week?"
Oh, he's like, "Hey, look, man, my wife and I have agreed we're really going to do the landscaping this year. Why don't you come back next week?" That's right. Might be an indicator of my view of the certain professions. The oldest profession, the professions that we have found our way into, which is the pastoring professions. I have a lot of thought about professions. But hey, okay, chit-chatting the weather. We're having an Arkansas kind of spring. It was 81 degrees on Sunday.
Yep.
And there's a slight forecast for snow over the weekend. So,
wow.
Not a high possibility. Maybe just flurries overnight. This kind of thing. Yeah. So,
crazy.
How's that? How are you all hanging in there down there somewhere?
Yeah,
squirrel away.
It's warm. It's muggy. It's it's just there's just a lot of humidity in the air. Feels like it's gonna rain any moment. But Doug, I'll tell you what I did. I got away for the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Went on a little personal retreat.
Wow.
I told you that
no one deserves it more.
Thank you. I texted you that I was going to be off the grid, and I spent about 40 hours on a mountain.
Okay.
On top of a mountain outside of the thriving metropolis of Winslow, Arkansas, in this little A-frame cabin that didn't have electricity.
Wow.
Man, faced the west with a beautiful view of the sunset. And it was just amazing. I was not on my phone, didn't watch anything. I sat and I thought and I meditated and I read and I journaled and I was just quiet with myself.
Man.
My goodness.
Good for you. Nothing like frittering away a weekend in just wastefulness. Sometimes we just need to just nothing. Sometimes you just need to crumple up a $5 bill and throw it away to know that you're not controlled by money. Look, that's super impressive. And the fact that you'd go somewhere where you probably brought a battery pack to make sure your phone was okay.
No, I didn't.
Or charged it in the car. But that's good for you. That's wonderful. Yeah. Just great. Everybody, look, how many traditions of human civilizations and organizing have said something about a weekly break, a Sabbath, a retreat? It's foundational to healthy human life.
Yeah, exactly.
And yet we talk about it and people are like, wow, you got to do it?
Yeah, that's
makes no sense.
Yeah, and it
makes no sense.
It was kind of spur of the moment. I just, said to Vanessa, I'm like, I only had one thing on my calendar for the weekend. It was a podcast interview I was supposed to do, and I got in touch with the guy and rescheduled it for next weekend, and I was just gone. It was
taking care of yourself. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you think Vanessa spent some time at home then putting up on the whiteboard the list of projects that could be done over the weekend? Did she spend... Hey, when you get back next weekend, maybe we tackle the...
Oh.
I only say that because that's what I picked up. I was away at a friend's birthday celebration and speaking at the DNC event in New Orleans, and it became a long leave Thursday, come back Sunday. It was to do. And I got home and Shelly's like, hey, let's talk about the yard projects we want to do. Okay.
Yeah, I have, there's a person I know who had been on a weekend away. And while this person was on the weekend away, their spouse transferred a large sum of money out of their bank account and moved out. And so I was pleasantly surprised to find Vanessa still at home when I got back.
Right, just to come in and not hear an echo when you open the door.
Just like, okay.
Hey, you know who did not take a weekend off?
You?
J.D. Vance, Donald Trump. They continued their debacle of America. You know who else didn't take a weekend off? MAGA supporters, Rob, who are now claiming that Donald Trump, the one they voted for, is the Antichrist. Have you seen? I mean, have you tracked how much since Sunday? I mean, probably never in an 8-day period of time has there been a political shift this severe. And I'm not just talking about Swalwell. I am talking about people by the millions who supported Donald Trump between last Easter's post on a week ago, Sunday, to Sunday's post, where he looks like Jesus and all the nonsense that we'll put up, and then attacking the Pope. Like you just can't somehow. This beloved child of God has figured a way to insult the entire Christian tradition, the evangelicals and the mainliners and the charismatic Pentecostals by putting the flying demons over his head in the photo, and the Catholics all within 8 days. Yeah. To the point that people who have been hardcore followers of his
most ardent supporters, his base, like, how do you insult your base? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
It's actually insane. Have you seen the Megyn Kelly post? She does a live stream. She does it on Tuesdays, apparently. The thing from last Tuesday. Did you?
Yeah, I did see it. Yeah.
It's become one of my favorite little things, and I've created a 3-second and a 10-second video meme that I'll put up on social media that I want other people to also have access to because you could play this for so many things.
Yeah. Here play now?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I am sick of this shit. I'm sick of it. Can't he just behave like a normal human?
Let's do it again. Let's just hear it again. I love how she goes, I'm just sick of this shit. This can't she's about to say, she's about to go. But she's doing an XM Sirius radio. She can't see what she thinks. But just this little 3-second bit, which I'm glad. Maybe I did send it to you last night in the group chat.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I am sick of this shit.
You're sick of this shit. My sister-in-law said, well, welcome to the rest of us who for 12 years have been sick of this shit. I mean, I just think the way she sighs and the way she's like, it's just killing me. This guy, why can't he just act like a normal human being? And this is Megyn Kelly, who like a day earlier was like, look, Trump's a problem, but I would still probably vote for him again, is just like unraveling by the day. And she may come back home and she might say some things that people are like, I thought Megyn Kelly. But this is how the change happens that we have all talked about so much. You get disquieted, then you go quiet, then you come out, then you say a thing or two, then you come back, then you finally let go. This is such behavioral change pattern. It's wonderful to see.
And the best thing we can do is just keep the door unlocked. Even if you don't want to open it, just leave it unlocked. Listen, don't turn these folks away. Don't start with the I told you so.
Yes.
What took you so long?
Yeah.
If you have those feelings and you need to express those feelings, express them to somebody else, not to that family member who's finally seeing the light.
That's what the comments are for on our live stream and podcast.
That's right.
Just let us know. We're here to hear you.
That person and what took so long, and I told them this 12 years ago, and all of it. But to them, nothing but grace and welcome.
Hearing all of the people, there's this pastor from Tennessee or Texas, is Joel Weebon or something. He gets real famous for all the inflammatory stuff he says about other people that don't support Trump. He just lost his mind on Monday. He's like, Donald Trump has lost his mind. There's no excuse for it. This post that he did, terrible. Sean Fuchs, the hair flowing praise be to Trump worship leader.
Yeah, COVID super spreader.
Said, there is no excuse. The president needs to take this photo down. I guess we should just probably put up talk about this. Put up the photo, but for the love, I had it here. Okay, there we go.
Here we go. Okay.
Let's just go. So much to talk about.
First of all, as when you texted this photo to me yesterday, and I'd seen it already, my reply to you was that the guy on the bed looks like Jeffrey Epstein.
I've heard so many people say that. Yeah, I'm trying to see it. Okay.
If you don't see it, it's clear. It's like, and is he trying to bring Jeffrey Epstein back to life? Is he killing Jeffrey Epstein, which our friend Brandon said would be a great name for a book by Bill O'Reilly, Killing Epstein. Oh, so that's one thing. And so maybe folks can say whether or not they think that the guy in the bed looks like Jeffrey Epstein. Number two, apparently there's an older version of this image that was making the rounds, and up at the top were soldiers flying in the air. And somehow the middle character in the Trump picture that he posted is no longer a soldier. It looks like a demon of some kind.
Yes, and with a little Statue of Liberty like crown over the top. That Joel Weebon character that I told you about, who posted something, I had a live stream about, is Trump the Antichrist? I don't know how trustworthy of a fellow he is at all. Don't care. He's fine. He's just said things that are so harmful to so many people. But I watched a bit of his live stream just to see the tenor and the tone. And he said, I know they're trying to say it's like a soldier in the Statue of Liberty, or all of his defenders are, but that is clear demon iconography. And we're going to go through all that. I'm going to explain to you how that's a demon icon. Like, in his world, that is a very specific character that is with the soldiers and the eagle and some version of a fighter and a Washington monuments behind him.
The other thing we need to notice is that it's all white people. There are no people of color in Donald Trump's world. Okay.
There are no white people. There are no non-white people in that photo. How did I miss that?
Yeah, did you notice that? Yeah.
I had not because partly, and we're going to play it in a minute, because the deceiver in chief was babbling on about it being the Red Cross.
Right.
There's literally not even a Red Cross.
We'll get there. We'll get there. Yeah. We'll get there. Listen, I want to say something. I know a lot of people have said that this picture is blasphemy.
Okay.
I don't see this picture as blasphemy.
No.
Because that's not what Jesus looks like or what Jesus does.
Jesus never ever looked like that.
This kind of
good point.
Folk art, religious folk art, and you can see lots of versions of it, from Jesus playing soccer with the kids, to Jesus in the boardroom shaking hands with the businessmen, to there's tons of this stuff that's out there.
Yeah, me carrying Jesus on the beach. That's why there's only one set of footprints. No, sorry. That was the other way around.
None of it is it's not Jesus. It's not Jesus. It historically is not accurate. It is the only thing that you might be able to say is that there's some sense of incarnational some incarnational aspect to it, where we find God in our everyday. So if we're in the boardroom, God's there. If we're playing soccer, God's there. I get that. Sure. But it is not blasphemous.
No. Yeah, right. This is not what Jesus...
It's ridiculous is what it is.
Beautiful. I'm stealing that. I'm going to be on a very, very high profile podcast tomorrow. I'm going to steal that.
There you go.
That idea.
What podcast are you going to be on? Calling a good...
I got to wait. I think I shouldn't say until it happens. I don't know how these things go. I'll tell you later, like in Princess Bride, I'll tell you later. I'll tell you in a minute. I'll be pushing it out on all of our socials as soon as it happens. No, it's not Joe Rogan. I would not. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying. No, Joe, again, and I've said to him before, stop asking.
Yeah, that's right.
I am not coming. And you just, frankly, you look pathetic, Joe.
Let's circle back to this not blasphemous, ridiculous.
Yes, and
you think this is what Jesus is like? That if all you had to do is replace Donald Trump's head with the bearded picture of Jesus, if you think this is what Jesus is like, you don't have any clue what Jesus is like.
Yes, but at the same time, it is putting him in a messianic return of Christ, exaggerated Book of Revelation fan fiction narrative. So in our world, I'm 100% agree with you. The Jesus of the Gospels doesn't look like this. The Jesus that some people create in their mind coming from the Book of Revelation can have a little bit of this healing in the hand, scarlet things. It's look, an average American looks at this and they do think messianic return of Christ character. True. But I think you're bringing up the right point here, because this also shows the vain and the frivolous narrative of so much Christianity that supports Trump. That if you are bothered by this as a Trump supporter, it's because you have a view of Jesus. Look, if you really wanted to say that Trump is taking the name of the Lord in vain, we could go for hours on taking from the weak, punishing, breaking of systems that are there to care for people, calling people, immigrants, that they're dangerous rapists from shithole country. Like you could go on and on about the ways that Donald Trump has demeaned humanity and the blessed life of God on earth. The fact that he's depicted in a picture and puts it out, it does tap into something, or better yet, it becomes, I think, Rob, the excuse in the best sense of the word, the rationale, the reason, now I have a breaking point for a lot of people, because it viscerally touches something that in all fairness goes with what we talked about a week ago on the podcast, which was Paula White basically aligning Jesus or Donald Trump with Jesus. Then Easter threatening the country of Iran. Then Monday saying,
praise be to Allah,
we will destroy a civilization, and using the voice of the presidency to say we will threaten a civilization is in and of itself a threat. If I call you on the phone, if I send you a text message, if I write on social media, hey, Rob, I'm going to come and destroy you, that is in and of itself a threat. And that threat we constitute in civilized society of the United States to be a violation of common sense, goodness, and the law. Donald Trump does that and then follows up with all of this nonsense a week later while attacking the Pope, which we'll also talk about. It's just bizarre. If you were to craft a way in which you could trick Donald Trump into losing his base, this would be the playbook.
That's right.
Start a war, support Epstein cover-ups, liken yourself to Jesus. In the name of Allah, commit to destroying a civilization, attack the Pope personally by name. I'm going to get to the Pope thing in a minute because there's another big part. I don't know if you read that Truth Social post. And then post an image of yourself as a messianic character with healing in your hands, in your palm, in the crucifix, in the stigmata of your hand, while you lay your hands on a failing middle-aged white man in a hospital bed. And then say, only the fake media would distort this.
Okay, so yeah, we got to talk about this because it is amazing. So yesterday, Donald Trump staged a DoorDash delivery. Do you know about this, Doug?
I do. I've watched multiple videos of this.
So this is to promote his no tax on tips initiative. He brought in a woman from Fayetteville, Arkansas.
What?
Yeah.
It wasn't, he didn't actually order from DoorDash in DC?
No.
What?
She is from Fayetteville, Arkansas.
So he literally didn't say, somebody launch your app, go to DoorDash, order McDonald's, and let's talk to who shows up.
No, not at all. He got this, and this woman has testified before Congress in the past. Like, it has been a Republican witness testifying before Congress in the past. Like, this is a political operative from Fayetteville, Arkansas, who is the DoorDash grandma, is kind of like her little brand. I've never had her deliver something to me when I've ordered DoorDash from restaurants in Fayetteville, though I've never ordered DoorDash from McDonald's. This was it. I mean, this has to be staged. It has to be weird because a DoorDash delivery person doesn't walk across the South Lawn and knock on the door of the Oval Office.
I know. I just thought they had found somebody locally and then set this whole thing up, and then they got her. No, flew her in.
She is from and she claimed that it was her first time in Washington D.C., which was a lie, because she'd been there to testify. Yeah, seriously, yeah.
Okay, look, let's not turn on the DoorDash grandma though. Let's in a world in which Washington is proven to be corrupt.
So let's let the bizarre context. The bizarre context is Donald Trump has opened the door of the Oval Office to receive his big bag of McDonald's food from the DoorDash delivery person from Fayetteville, Arkansas, who brought it across the South Lawn right up to the door of the Oval Office.
Sure.
And when he steps out to greet her and give her her $100 tip, on which there will be no taxes, the press is there.
Yeah.
And he's ready to answer some questions. And the first question he gets asked is about the Jesus picture.
Okay, so even before that question that he's asked, did you see the video of what he said when he opened the door?
No, I don't think I saw it. What did he say?
It's from memory here.
I can't wait.
From memory. Oh, hello. this doesn't look staged, does it? He's like
didn't
calling
say
bullshit
that.
on the thing while it's happening. Like, this is ridiculous. This doesn't look staged. Look at all these people here. So he
great.
can't even, here's the thing. He can't even hang with the bit.
Yeah.
If you're going to do the bit and you're going to fly
gotta do
someone
it.
in and you're going to fake the thing and you're going to be right outside the door and you're going to have $100 in your pocket and you're ready to go, you got to commit to the bit, man. You can't then be like, and then did you hear what he said to her about men in women's sports?
No. I mean, totally the thing you talk about with your DoorDash driver.
Completely
Now,
like
how often do you DoorDash?
well, with some version of that. I don't know if
Uber Eats.
more often than I'm comfortable saying out loud because it'll be a big number and then somebody will find out that it was a bigger number than that. So I'm not telling you. Frequently. Frequently.
We probably once a month, maybe. I mean, if that doesn't count.
So you're saying you see your therapist more often than you see a delivery person at your door?
Probably
Okay.
about the same amount.
So he said to her, so what do you think about men playing in women's sports?
No, he did not. Just out of the blue.
Just
Apropos of nothing?
he's trying to like see this is the thing we're all into. No tax on tips and hating on the trans and she said, I don't have an opinion about that, sir. I'm just here to talk about tax on tips. He's like, oh, okay. I'm sure you do, though. I'm sure you do. Like mansplaining that the woman didn't play along on the transphobia bit. And she's like, oh, no, I'm not taking the bait. And then he said, hey, will you step over here and do some questions with the press with me? And she goes, sir, I'll do whatever you want me to do. Like, I'm here earning tips, like what tip workers do. He's within the bounds of the law and their job. Yeah, I'll do the thing, you know. I'll do the deal. And he gave her $100. Rob, now that you bring this up, $100 tip for someone that's had to take 2 days and an overnight and 2+ airplanes and taxi, Uber, car rides, and then somehow score McDonald's food in your hand and then go to a press conference. $100 tip is not a great tip. That is a terrible tip.
That food, if she brought that food from, the McDonald's, on Mall Ave across the street from the Walmart, there on Joyce, like, it would be so cold by the time it got to the Boulevard. I mean, it wouldn't be like spoiled in any way because we know that McDonald's doesn't do that.
Okay, apparently she testified while in Nevada.
Oh,
thank you, Melissa Hart Thomas. Good. I don't want the I'm not going to throw the trans people granny DoorDash person to have been pulled into Donald Trump's web of lies. So I feel heartened by this. Of course, they found just a performer. But then she brings up the thing about her husband having cancer, which I guess we're going to show. All right. So back to it. Well, okay, let me just take a pause and say this. You know what Donald Trump knows how to do? Run media bits. He can't stick to the bit. He can't land the line. But you know what Joe Biden never did? Anything like this.
Right.
I mean, Barack Obama made a big deal about the time he and Joe went to Five Guys in 2010.
Yeah.
Truth be told, what this guy knows how to do is stand ringside at a UFC fight in Miami while his vice president is trying to negotiate the end of military conflicts and a war. He's, palling around Miami with Marco Rubio, but he does know how to get himself in front of cameras and make something a little more interesting about politics. And every politician should pay attention to that.
Yes.
Do something to have people see you in some way, because you know what people don't think about? House Resolution 421. They don't know and they don't care. Yeah. Now, what Donald Trump is terrible at is messaging anything useful to anybody in the United States for any reason or purpose other than his own grift. But he does know how to whip up a little media attention, which brings us, I guess, to this video. You ready? You ready for this one?
Love it.
No, that's not the one. Hang on.
That's a very long Jesus.
Mr. President, did you post that picture of yourself depicted as Jesus Christ?
Well, it wasn't depicted. It was me. I did post it, and I thought it was me as a doctor, and had to do with Red Cross as a Red Cross worker there, which we support. And only the fake news could come up with that one. So I just heard about it, and I said, "How did they come up with that? It's supposed to be me as a doctor, making people better." And I do make people better. I make people a lot better. As an example, the 11,000, I understand your husband's going through treatment.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He's going through some very serious cancer treatment, so
yes, sir.
This goes a long way.
Yes, sir, it sure does.
Yeah.
What do you think he's talking about there? He's about to say the 11,900 something. Is he talking about like how much?
That's how much she made in tips last year.
She made basically 12 grand in tips, and he's saying those are not going to be taxed at.
Yes. Which,
like,
by the
your $12,000 in tips is going to be taxed at the level of my cryptocurrency income.
Yeah. And by the way, $12,000 in tips isn't going to be. You're not going to qualify for federal taxes anyway.
You're not paying tax on that. And it's only federal tax. It's not even state tax. It's look, the tax on tips thing, great pitch, great marketing, absolutely useless. Useless.
Yeah. Doctor. I'm not Jesus. I'm a doctor.
I posted it when he came out and said, yes, I posted it. That was the breaking point for me, Rob, on this story.
How does he come across this image?
That's what I'm saying. Where did he get it? Why? Do you know how many times on Sunday I did not have time to post some things I wanted to post? I had spoken at the DNC event in New Orleans. I had a bunch of stuff going on. I had to travel home. I had things going on. And I finally got home. And not until yesterday did I have time to post something. Why does Donald Trump have time as the president of the United States to be scrolling images, looking at them, picking, and posting this himself?
And listen, Doug, we all have been the victims of the social media algorithm. You know that thing where like you just hesitate on an ad when you're scrolling through.
Yeah.
And now you're getting an ad for that company and all of their competitors constantly. Yes. You know, one image or one video, one reel like catches your attention and you watch it. And now the algorithm thinks that you want nothing but that. Like the algorithm serves you what it thinks you want based on your history of activity on that social media platform. Doug, if Donald Trump is being served AI images of himself by the social media algorithm, it's because Donald Trump looks at AI images of himself on social media. This man is ridiculous.
He's such a fool. He's just such a fool. And then to stand there and say, I spend my time posting things like this because I want people to see me as a doctor. Rob, he's not a doctor. This is like the end of a David Letterman episode. Not a doctor. He's not a doctor. He's the president. Like he should be posting things about being the president. When you stand next to a wife of a current cancer patient.
who just delivered you McDonald's
and say, oh, your husband's going through cancer. I hear that's going on. I heal people.
Heal him. Heal him.
It is so yeah, well,
I mean, I don't know about you, but I am sick of this shit. I'm sick of it. Can't he just behave like a normal human?
see, I'm telling you, Megyn Kelly, I'm going to be in the middle of a dementia-ridden death rattle at some point, and I'm going to be like, I'm sick of this shit. It's going to be the one phrase sticks in my head. Can't he just be a normal human? You're the president. You're not a doctor. You're not healing people. And look, if you're a billionaire and you're standing with a DoorDash grandma that you're trying to pitch to America, a person who needs to still work delivering food, and you're trying to give her a break on the amount of taxes she's going to pay on the $12,000 of tips that she took in, and she's facing cancer treatments, as Robin said in the chat, her mom's cancer treatments were $12,000 each. You say to her in front of everyone, I will cover all of your medical expenses. You don't say, I'm doing a lot by giving you a cut on tips so you don't pay 14% of your $12,000. That instead of getting $10,000, you're going to get $12,000. See how much I heal people? If you're worth billions, don't just say to her, I magically heal people as a doctor. I could cover all of your medical expenses, and I'm glad to do it. Do you know what there's not a press release about? Donald Trump helping the DoorDash grandma from Fayetteville cover her medical expenses. You know what I'd love to know? Wonder what insurance she's on. Medicare, Medicaid, maybe? Can she still get it if she has to work as a DoorDash delivery? The whole thing is so unbelievably non-Christ-like.
Doug, do you remember when you were in school and we had the calculators and we would spell out words with the numbers and everything, and
hello and
yeah,
hell, mm-hmm.
Yeah, and others.
boob.
Boob.
It was boob. I was trying to think about what else there was.
Yeah, boob. But the other thing we would do with the calculators is we would make these. You try to break the calculator. You try to put in some calculation that gets you the E message, where you get a number that has the E on the. Do you remember that? It had the
No.
E on the end. Okay, this is too big for us to calculate. So I just put into my handy dandy Google calculator on my computer here 100 divided by 5.1 billion, which is Donald Trump's estimated net worth on the low end. And I got 1.96078431 E minus 8.
It's not a meaningful number.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Right, that's not a number.
It is, when you stop and think about what this woman is experiencing because of a broken healthcare system. Her husband has cancer treatments that will bankrupt them. She's a senior citizen who's having to do DoorDash. Think of the indignity of that and what that says about our system. That this grandma whose husband is sick has to spend her evenings schlepping around Northwest Arkansas, dropping food off at people's houses, hoping that they give her a tip, and she gets to keep all of it. And she goes to visit a billionaire. A billionaire. And he gives her $100. It's insulting.
And you would want to say to yourself, I'm sure something else has happened on the back end. She didn't leave. Someone from the Trump Foundation, someone from the Trump family got together with her and said, there's no chance that happened and they wouldn't be talking about it. 0% chance. None. He would have wrapped his little hands and arms around her shoulders and said, I've got you. Nope.
But he doesn't heal people. He doesn't care.
He's not a doctor. Literally,
Not a doctor.
he's a pants box filler. He is not a doctor. So that's what's so obscene about this whole thing is him saying,
Doctors don't wear robes.
I posted this
sashes.
image because it depicted me as a doctor and I heal people. You don't heal people. You're the president. You know what you do? You start wars. You direct the Justice Department to cover up pedophile activity. You demean the work that the United States does around the world by authorizing the defunding of USAID. You fire lifetime career workers in the military and in the federal government and in the Justice Department. That's what you actually do, Mr. President. You're not a doctor. Okay. Like look. Okay, Rob. Here's a point I wanted to make, and I was going to wait till after the Pope, and then we got to talk about Swalwell and other things. Do you remember a few months ago when people were saying, I think Donald Trump has had a neurological issue, and they took him to the hospital and they did tests and stuff? Remember all that?
Yeah.
And people were like, it's a dementia thing. I have known multiple people who have had brain issues, and it has changed their personality. It has changed the function of their brain. Sometimes very drastically from somebody who was one kind of a driven person to somebody who's almost unrecognizable. Still very functional. Personalities shift, brain things shift. I'm not trying to let Donald Trump off the hook. I am saying maybe something really did happen in his brain between the last time he was in office and now, and he is so profoundly neurologically broken that posting something like this, he actually sees himself as a doctor. Like maybe the man is not just lying. Maybe he doesn't know that destroying a world civilization, who knows what's going to happen, is outside the bounds of what he can now understand. Maybe there is a truly neurological problem with this guy. And if there are people who know, like there were people who know how much Joe Biden had declined, like there were people who knew how much Ronald Reagan had declined, and they all covered it up, if that is going on, people need to let us know. Because this guy's decline is not that he can't work a full day or do the things or make the critical decisions. It's that he's out wreaking havoc. So, I have long said
I would love to comment on this, but I'm not a doctor. Can we just talk? I know we need to move on. We need to talk about the Pope. We got other things to talk about. We got to talk about Swalwell and Gonzalez and Melania's press conference and all of it. So much has happened. Nothing about the image says doctor.
That's what I'm saying.
It doesn't. Doctors don't wear robes. They don't wear red sashes.
I don't know what they do at Walter Reed. Maybe at that hospital as the president, people have been doing cosplay with him and they've been coming in all of their outfits. And he's like, there's something wrong with him. There's something wrong with him. And truly, Rob, the number of people who have said repeatedly, this is not the same man.
Yeah.
How he was before should have been disqualifying to ever have been elected president of the United States.
That's right.
I'm not letting him off the hook. Like, he was okay, but now, he bonked his noggin. Nope.
No. Neither version of Trump is all right.
Okay. Let's talk about Eric Swalwell. Is that right in first name? Well, that sounds strange when I said it.
Yeah.
Congressman, somebody who I have come to know in political, not personally, but in political newsy world, congressman from California, because he has put himself out into the world in very defined, aggressive ways. He's done it as a congressman. He's done it as a like in his actual duties in House meetings. He's done it through the media and the press. He's done it through social media. He has been aggressively making himself available to the American people. He's been doing really good work at going after the Trump administration. He then decided to run for governor of California, a very high-profile act and position that he's seeking. All the while knowing that in 2019 and in 2024, he had woken up in hotel rooms with women he's not married to who have said that he sexually assaulted them. He knew that he had done that. Meanwhile, he had sent nude photos of himself and sexually explicit communications through social media apps to employees and coworkers. What is wrong with you? Look, if you've got sexual addictions and you've got things, maybe you could figure out a way to be a public service as a congressperson. Okay, get help, get work. But when you don't, stop putting yourself out in the public, because it's not only shameful for you, it's not only degrading of the people you have abused, but it makes a mockery of the entire thing that many of us recognize as an important part of American civilization. And that is that we have a government and government officials that we can trust. And then to bicker with the point that you don't agree with what your victim has, how the victim has categorized your behavior, and say, well, that's a complete lie. That's not how it happened. And then later say, we shouldn't have to figure out if your victim is telling the truth when you wake up in a bed in a hotel room, not once, but twice with the person. Just people that are doing...
I mean, I don't know about you, but I am sick of this shit.
People that are doing this stuff, stop putting yourself out there as a person who wants to take on more responsibility. Deal with your issues, reconcile and heal the victims, and stop doing it. I mean, I know it's overly moralistic and overly some pastor telling people what to do. Stop raping people and stop running for governor when you do. I mean, come on.
Yeah. I think universally we could say stop raping people.
Full stop.
Just full stop. Doug, this is all too common. This is not boys will be boys. This is men behaving badly. And Eric Swalwell needs to go away from public life. If he committed crimes, needs to be investigated, indicted. If he's convicted by a jury of his peers in a court of law, he needs to do the crime. He needs to do the time that is
Okay, Beretta.
that is assigned to him. It is utterly ridiculous that we have a system in which these men believe that they can do these things with impunity and continue to climb the political ladder. It is utterly ridiculous that there is a lack of meaningful consequences that serve as a deterrent to bad behavior and a punishment for this kind of behavior. And Eric Swalwell needs to go away.
And he's resigned from Congress.
And dropped out of the gubernatorial race in California.
Rob, if somebody gets into a situation where they're running for Congress or they're being a public person and something goes awry, they behave in ways that are harmful, hurtful, sinful, illegal, there's probably a moment where they're like, what do I now do?
Yeah.
But when that stuff was there before, not a moment of grace for your choice to continue to put yourself out there as the standard bearer of a movement that's trying to stop this. You knew it.
Yes, if you know
did it.
This stuff is Doug. I have worked with candidates all across the country.
Yep.
I have worked with organizations that have endorsed candidates, and I have had multiple conversations with candidates where I have said to them, "Okay, moment of truth here. Before we endorse you, I need to ask, what are the skeletons in the closet?
What do you know that I don't know that our organization would want to know? Anything you can share?"
And yeah. I've had some interesting answers to that question. I had one person tell me that he did time on Rikers Island.
Okay.
And I said, "Oh, tell me more about that." I had someone tell me that they were banned from entering the country of Australia. And I said, "Oh, tell me more about that." I had someone tell me that they were in an open polyamorous relationship. And I did not say, "Oh, tell me more about that." I had someone tell me that in college they had been the lead singer of a punk band with the word "fuck" in the name. And, I've heard a lot of different things. Somebody needed to say to Eric Swalwell, "Hey, you got to tell us something here. What's going on? Listen, Doug, if someone says to me, 'Hey, listen, there might be a couple of women who could accuse me of, rape and sexual assault,' I would say, 'Okay, are they accusing you because you did it?' No. This is the system with this lack of consequences. It's a real problem."
Okay, I hear you. But look, if people are going to lie to their wife, if people are going to lie to themselves, people are going to lie to investigators, they're going to lie to the public.
Yeah.
I'm 2 weeks ago, we had an interview with one of our favorite and still heartfelt political candidates, Ted Lieu, on this podcast. At the end, we asked him about the gubernatorial race in California. He said, "I have endorsed my dear friend and colleague, Eric Swalwell." I bet Ted didn't know that Eric had woken up in hotel rooms with a staffer who had said she was so intoxicated she can't fully have gone along with the sexual activity that took place and had cuts and bruises. I bet he didn't know that. I bet he didn't know that Eric Swalwell had sent Snapchats. The fact that, yes, we have a system that says to victims, you can't share it or you're going to be punished, is a real problem. But so is just having people that have enough give a shittery that you're not going to do this to the American people. Not going to put yourself out there as the standard bearer when we are in the midst of a crisis in this nation because we have a pedophile protecting sexual abuser in the White House that the American people have said yes to on 3 different occasions.
Let me say this.
Good grief. I mean, it is just come on, candidates.
And it's not like, well, shoot, nobody's doing this. You know, like if nobody's willing to run, nobody's running. If I don't run, the Republicans are going to take this. They're just going to waltz in. It's not like there's not a competent Democrat running for the position of governor of California. If Eric Swalwell wasn't such an egomaniac who thinks that he can get away with anything and he is entitled to whatever he wants, whether it's a woman's body or the governorship of California, hey, Eric, sit down. Katie Porter's in the race. We don't need you. We don't need a Democrat to run. We have a formidable Democratic woman running for governor of California. How about we all get behind her?
Yep.
How about instead of the embarrassment of, Donald Trump Jr. and Donald Trump himself posting on social media, making fun of Eric Swalwell, instead of the embarrassment of Democrats who, trying to hold some kind of moral high ground, like,
it's just,
why don't we just get behind Katie Porter and let her lead us in California?
Amen. And if you can't find a Democrat to run who's not committing sexual assault, then don't run a Democrat.
Yeah.
It's not okay to say, well, the best we can find is a predator.
Yes.
And look, Congress people, stop having sex with people you're not married to across the board. Just quit it. You might want to say America should get over it. Okay, we're not over it. Stop it.
Yes. Because at the same time,
look, if you'd get kicked out of the military for this, a part of our society that's job is to kill people. They have a higher standard than what you think your job is to make laws. Just grow up and quit it. Or go do something else. Oh, it is just so, and look, it's not just Democrats, it's Republicans too. It's all kinds of people.
I mean,
and let's say this very clearly, Rob, it's not all politicians. There are 500 elected federal officials. You know how many of them are committing crimes, sexual crimes and legal crimes or money crimes and all this? A teeny number, not quite an E on your calculator number, but a small number. But I don't do this bad apple, good apple nonsense. Look at every one of them and say, quit it.
Yep.
Lauren Boebert, stop giving people sexual pleasures in movie theaters. It just, and I'm pro-sex. I think sex is great. Or do it in consenting relationships. If you're so post-marriage, I get you. Do it in consenting relationships. Stop having the possibility be that the other participant could say, maybe that was rape. Be so far from that. Would you all please? And these poor victims. People that are stuck in a political job system where they think they can't tell the truth. May we have a time where we can tell the truth where you don't pay the price.
Well, I want to talk about Tony Gonzalez because Eric Swalwell resigned from Congress, dropped out of the gubernatorial race. Within hours of these allegations coming to light.
Okay. Within days.
Within days.
Okay. Because the first response was, I defend this with all that I've got. This never, ever happened. I'm never dropping out. Not like, oh, cat's out of the bag. Let me own it. Took Nancy Pelosi and others to meet with him and say, no. You're out.
For months.
Pardon me.
For months, Representative Tony Gonzalez, Republican from Texas, has been serving in Congress, even though it has come to light that he sexually assaulted, sexually harassed, and some news media characterizes it as had an affair with, but with the power dynamics that exist, that's not good framing, with a staffer in his office who ultimately committed suicide. And this has come to light for months now. And text messages and, evidence and all of it. And Tony Gonzalez has continued to serve in Congress. There's been no Nancy Pelosi moment with him. Mike Johnson hasn't sat down with him and said, listen, you got to go. Republicans have ignored and protected and let Tony Gonzalez continue to serve in Congress. And only now has, because of the Eric Swalwell situation, has the Tony Gonzalez situation come back to light.
Yeah.
And Tony Gonzalez also announced that he is resigning from Congress.
He had already said he wasn't going to run for re-election and thought that would solve it. Now he's going to resign.
Ridiculous.
So the party we support is better than the party that the other people support because of how we deal with our sexual predators.
The problem is...
Hang on a second. Let me pat myself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No,
Sexual
Democrats, you don't get to be better.
Yeah. Sexual predators, apparently, bipartisan issue.
Apparently bipartisan issue.
Can we talk about Melania?
And then literally it's like, oh, hang on. In this podcast, we still have to get to wars, which we won't have time to. We still have to get to the fact that Melania wants to make statements about other women that were sexually abused.
Doug,
okay, let's talk about Melania.
The First Lady of the United States, was it Friday? Thursday? Friday? Thursday? I don't know what day.
Maybe Thursday.
Didn't a speech, we call it a press conference. It wasn't really a press conference. It was more a statement. She didn't take questions. The doors opened. She walked out to the lectern, not a podium, the lectern. She read a prepared statement about her own life and experiences.
Not a statement, but a list of words.
While she was speaking, did you notice this? There's a window behind her, and the shade of the window begins to go up.
Not shades, but draperies. Not a podium, but a lectern. Not a press conference, but a statement. It's so absurd. It's so absurd. Yeah. Somebody's like, hey, let's open the shades. And they're like, hang on, the First Lady's in there talking to people about the Epstein files. Oh my God.
This was a statement about how Melania Trump didn't know Jeffrey Epstein all that well. How he was an acquaintance, not a friend.
How the convicted sexual predator and child trafficker, Ghislaine Maxwell, was just a casual correspondence that her emailing to her would be seen as only pleasantries. Really? Like you're messaging and congratulating sexual predators on a regular basis, and you're just trying to use natural common courtesy pleasantries?
I really liked that. I really liked that she didn't use the name Ghislaine. She just called her Maxwell. Hey, Doug, listen. This is the email that Melania referred to, where she said it was a reply, though it does not appear to be a reply. It appears to be. She said it was just, pleasantries between an acquaintance. This is what the email says, dated 10/23/20 or 2002, 7:40 p.m. Subject line, hi, with an exclamation point. Dear G, exclamation point. How are you?
Because no one can spell Ghislaine, so she just went with G.
Nice story about J.E. in New York Mag. You look great on the
just picture. Like the abbreviations. Maybe it's because English is not her first, second, third, fourth language. I don't know. It's just
you look great on the picture. I know you're very busy flying all over the world. How was Palm Beach? I cannot wait to go down. Give me a call when you're back in New York. Have a great time. Love, Melania.
She just gives off that sort of Laura Bush, Barbara Bush kind of first lady warmth and sweetie honey pie love pal conversation.
This feels like a casual acquaintance. We happen to attend the same parties a couple of times email.
Rob, when I spoke at the No Kings rally in Naples, Florida, I borrowed an opening line from one of the organizers I had dinner with the night before, because he had put this phrase on a sign, and I thought it was lovely, and I thought it was a good way to start. And I said, hello, I'm Doug Pagitt. I am not in the Epstein files. And the crowd cheered. And I said, would you look around? Ask people around you, are you in the Epstein files? The reason that's a good bit and a shtick is because people don't want you to be in the Epstein files. What you don't do is call a press conference as the first lady and then say, I am not in the Epstein files, when you're in the Epstein files. And then say all these lies being said about me need to stop. People lie about politicians. They lie about politicians' wives. They lie about each other. Your husband lied to you about the sex he had with Stormy Daniels. Get over it, First Lady. You're in the Epstein files, quite literally. I know about a 2002 email that you sent to a sexual predator because it's in the Epstein files. Whatever she's trying to get out in front of, however the prenuptial agreement was changed, which, did you know that happened?
No.
I learned this through all this, that when she had a prenup with Donald from back in whenever, 2002 or the 90s, remember they got married. When she became First Lady, they changed it. That's been public. She's clearing the decks here. She's organizing the pants boxes into his side of the property and our side of the property.
Yeah.
Look, either he's firing her or she's firing him.
Yeah, this was suspicious, unusual, strange. I don't know the right word.
Stupid. Why does she get to use the power of the presidency for her own clear my name? No, look, the First Lady, the first husband is not a thing. It's just a reference of a relationship to somebody in a job. She should not be able to command any of this nonsense. The First Lady is not a government position. And then when she called on the victims to testify, Yabbis just put this in. When they called on the victims to testify, what I heard was, prove your allegations in front of Congress under oath. Not give them their day in court, but all these lies are circulating. Put people under oath so that the senators and Congress people that I know can say to them, was Melania Trump ever involved in any of that? That's what this is about. That was about her saying, put yourself under oath so that you can clear my name. Now, if that's not what she meant, because I had a hard time understanding her pronunciation of all the words, frankly, and her use of English after all these years is really poor.
She didn't nail it, did she? Wow.
You know, I had never heard her speak more than a sentence. I had no idea that's how she talked. Did you?
Well, I didn't watch the Melania movie, so no. And she shilled her own book during this too.
Well, as you know, authors as the two of us are, she gets a pass on that.
Hey, listen, Fundamorphosis, how I left fundamentalism but didn't lose my faith. Running for Our Lives, a story of faith, politics, and the common good. The Gospel According to Donald Trump, all available on Amazon.com or wherever you buy your books.
I would go through mine, but it would take too long.
I only have 3 books.
Yeah. You've only failed 3 times. I'm a 10-time loser.
Excellent.
When it comes to authoring.
That's what I
Rob, it's just I don't know what was going on. I don't know what's coming, and honestly, it's hard.
Yes, and apparently this was not coordinated with the president's office.
No.
Like this kind of came out of the blue. This was Melania's emergency PR team who came up with this idea. You know, this wasn't like a Susie Wiles kind of thing.
The MAGA movement has decided that it wanted to posture itself and model itself after the nation of Hungary and used Viktor Orban for the last 12 years as the model for leadership in the United States. They have hauled Viktor Orban to the United States multiple times. They've put him out in Christian situations. They've pushed a Christian nationalist authoritarian government that Viktor Orban was proudly described in such a way as their model. He lost an election so severely this weekend after J.D. Vance was sent there to do the administration's bidding, and they still lost. All of this serves as the indicators.
Yeah.
This thing is coming apart. Yeah. MAGA is done. The MAGA movement has self-imploded. People are fleeing. Does that mean they're not going to still vote for Republicans? Does it mean that if election was held today, Donald Trump wouldn't win? Maybe. All I know is it's come to an end. You know, there's that phrase that we use, that I joke around a lot, and we sort of use like, so this is how it's going to end, right? Like, this is how it ends. Now, were we the guys that stood outside the White House watching Marine One fly away with Marine helicopter fly away with Donald Trump on it after the inauguration of Joe Biden? Yes. And did he come back like Freddy Krueger in a horror movie? Not like Jesus. In the resurrection, Paula White. Because, by the way, Jesus wasn't resuscitated. He was resurrected. You want a little sermon for a minute? Resurrection is not coming back from the dead. Resurrection is transcending death with life. Let that bubble around on all your Easter thoughts for a minute. Lazarus in the Bible story, resuscitated, dies later. Jesus overcomes death. Donald Trump is a Freddy Krueger character, not a Jesus character. So, is the demise of the MAGA movement too soon? I think
it's
not.
You know, to use another theological phrase, it's an already not yet kind of thing. MAGA is dead. Already not yet.
We have a giant cottonwood tree in our neighbor's yard. It died 15 years ago, and the husk of it sat up there. Now, it stopped pollinating, but it costs about $15,000 to take one of those big cottonwood trees down. So one set of neighbors did about half of it, and then the next neighbors came in and they did the next half of it. The time between the propagating of the cottonwood and the tree and the trunk is gone and something else is now in that space, decade and a half. The cottonwood tree of MAGA has stopped propagating.
Yeah.
It's turned on itself and consuming itself.
Yep.
But the husk and the trees, and a lot of animals are going to keep living in it. A lot of people are going to keep living off of it. It's going to get in the way. You can't really do any legitimate landscaping with a 40-foot spire in your yard of American. It's an eyesore. Tree people came and looked at that one and said, I'm not climbing up there. That thing is hollowed out from the inside. The metaphors on this tree could go on and on.
Yeah.
Already dead, not yet gone.
Yep. Yep.
What's in place? Well, I love my neighbors. They just took it out, didn't choose to stump it. So now there's just a little stump there that they put a picnic table around.
Yeah, there you go.
They didn't really, whatever. Their yard. The yard of our country. You have to take the trunk down. You have to take the stump out. And we're going to have to imagine how we use the space that has been chewed up by this utter, complete nonsense. And you know who's not doing anything to boost their ability to be those people going forward? J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio.
Or Eric Swalwell.
Or Eric Swalwell. Or Gonzalez. We promised it. We should probably deliver it. Trump wrote all of those words about the Pope.
I have literally 4 minutes.
Okay.
So we gotta. I don't think that's enough time to read this. Wow.
We can't read all the words, but let me just read these words that will break your brain. The President of these United States of America, writing on his public statements from the White House, as well as his personal statements, has been told to us by the press over and over. Pope Leo is weak on crime and terrible for foreign policy. That's all you got to read. Pope Leo is weak on crime.
This is what
He's the Pope. He's not a doctor and he's not a law enforcement official. He's the
this
Pope.
Is what he says when he endorses someone. He says this about their opponents. When he endorses someone, he'll say their opponent is weak on crime, terrible at the border, foreign policy.
He then goes on later in his statement to say, Leo should be thankful to me because, as everyone knows, he was a shocking surprise. He wasn't on any list to be Pope and was only put there by the church because he was an American and they thought that would be the best way to deal with President Donald J. Trump. If I wasn't in the White House, Leo wouldn't be in the Vatican. Rob, he took credit for the selection of the Pope. Of all the things that Catholics will lose their mind about, the conclave as the hand of God leading its leaders, that is called a sacred position. Not the presidency, the papacy.
Yeah.
He says the only reason Leo is Pope is because I'm the president, so he owes me. And then writes in that thing that he likes his brother better because Pope Leo's brother is all MAGA. And then goes on saying other just things that you think something broke in his neurological brain.
Okay, we got Venezuela, Iran, Greenland, Cuba, the
Ukraine.
Vatican?
Ukraine and Palestine.
I'm thinking about places that Trump is, either invaded or threatened to invade. And I'm asking is the Vatican joining the list? Are we?
We
got Venezuela, Iran, Cuba, and Greenland on deck.
They did have a meeting with the ambassador from the Vatican because it's a nation state. They had a meeting in January and threatened him. And the Vatican's tried to downplay it, and everybody else. They were like, the Pope's getting on side here. He's going to be on our side on this thing. And the Pope is like, I am not. And the Pope's comments yesterday were so great. Like, he doesn't slap back. He doesn't do the things. He's not fight. He's like, I'm not afraid. You're an elected official who's going to be done in 36 months. I'm the Pope. We have totally different jobs, nothing to do with each other. You will leave in shame and I will remain.
Yeah, but I'm soft on crime, right? That's what the Pope says.
And bad for foreign policy. And let's leftists like Axelrod come to the. I mean, what does J.D. Vance, a newly devout convert to Christianity and Catholicism, who met with the Pope as an act of spiritual presence, think when the President of the United States is attacking not only this person as the Pope, but the selection process of the papacy? You just wanted the Catholic Church to have power in America. Now you're not going to have it. Oh my gosh, it's just
ridiculous. All right, I got to get on with my day.
I don't know about you, but I am sick of this shit. I'm just
yeah, I'm with you. Hey,
okay.
Stubby Function 6, thanks for coming into the chat.
Yeah, best viewers, streambamboo.com. Best viewers. We have the best viewers. Let's be perfectly clear. The best viewers.
Streambamboo.com to get best viewers. We already have the best viewers.
It's John. It's Yabbits. It's Jeanette. It's Timothy. It's so many comments. Jennifer.
Lori and Silva David. Mary.
Did you say Amanda and Carl?
I did.
And Sue. So many great viewers
Matt and
already.
Jeanette and Phil.
Brought to you by viewers like you. Well, actually, it's more our hard work. It was really us and God, like Paula White said to Donald Trump. Why does this podcast exist? Not because of you, because of us and God. I do wonder if we had no viewers, would we still do the podcast?
100%.
It's like people that said, I would do my job
Jim,
for free.
Happy birthday, Jim. Happy birthday, Jim. 65 today. That's
you're
wonderful.
kidding me.
That's wonderful. Happy birthday.
Jim Eaton, you have been there is
no
one more faithful. You go ahead and leave. You know who's not leaving? Jim Eaton. He has been so.
Now in a location 30 minutes from where I am currently, so I need to go.